Hey Daryl, just wanted to go over your questions, and like I said, we can always just connect this week. I'm actually mostly out tomorrow. I'm gonna run out and do some backcountry skiing, but I'm back on Friday, and I'm actually around tomorrow afternoon. If you want to just shoot me an email, we can connect. But anyway, I wanted to go over some of these questions. The first one was the banner that runs across all the pages. So that's the home page. But any other page here, this is the news page and the contact page. There's a picture up here that you were asking about. This actually takes a little bit of it's set up now so you shouldn't have to do any programming. So I don't know if you're familiar with FTP at all, but this is an FTP client. I can't make it any bigger. Sorry. This is the FTP client that gets me into the server, and then under the content themes, BGC North Country theme, there's like 4 or 5 files in here. We're going to look at 2 of these, but under the includes folder is a top info. And so basically all we're doing here, and this is the top info file on the left side of my screen. What we're saying here is if there's a custom field called header image, if there's anything in that field, then show that file. Otherwise, show this picture. And so the BGC group banner is the picture that you see here. So, and it's like you said, it's on every page. This is really easy to change though without having to do any programming. So essentially, if you're on the news page like I am here, if you hit the edit page button up here, it'll bring you into the editor. And at the very top, at least on my screen, this can get moved around, so it might be down here. Mine, I happen to have it at the top, so you can just kind of poke around, make sure you see it. If you don't see it, hit the screen options up here. Actually, it should be there because there's no way to turn it off, so it should definitely show up. But anyway, if you just pick an image here, click Add Image and upload it from your desktop or whatever, and you choose that image, it will swap it out on the news page. So I'm not going to do it here because I'm going to let you mess around with it. But basically, if you look at the news page, it's this picture, the contact page, they're all the same. If there is a page on the site, I don't know that there is, that has a different picture. Oh, here's one. So this after school program has a different picture. So if I go to edit this page, see, somebody has chosen a different picture up here, which is great. So that's a good example of somebody choosing that header, and then because there is a header image with our conditional PHP, it's going to show that image. So that's a great example on the after school program of where the picture is different. So my only caution to you is this picture, as you can see, is very wide and very short top to bottom. So what you want to be very careful of is the picture that you put in here, make it really wide and short. So I have set the picture to be 890 pixels wide, which is the width of this thing at full screen. And I'm letting the height be auto. So if you were to put a 900 by 900 picture in here, it would be a huge square picture and it would take up all of your header. So just be very careful that the picture that you choose is really short. This one, I don't know, looks like 170 pixels tall, 150 pixels tall. You can see in the top right corner of my screen. So it's 890 by 150. So if you wanted to keep it keep them all looking the same, then make sure you make it 890 by 150. And you can make it wider, 900 or 1000 is fine. But again, keeping it short will help with that. Okay, cool. So on the home page, it's very different. So on the home page, we have this cool slider. If you go into Appearance, Chameleon Theme Options, and this is where all of your theme settings are. And if you haven't poked around in here, I definitely recommend that you do that. There's a whole bunch of settings in here. You do want to be kind of careful so you don't mess anything up. But in general, all this is pretty safe to change things around, make adjustments. I typically take screenshots of what I'm doing so that if something is not what I want, like if this hex code for the color is not what you want, you can put it right back. So taking screenshots is always a good idea. But on the home page, if I click this item here, there's a bunch of options here as well. And then on the featured slider, it's enabled, and the articles is enabled. You notice that pages down here is not enabled, it's disabled. So basically what this means is it's going to take any blog post and it's going to grab the featured image of that blog post and put it on the homepage slider. And what we've done is we've chosen a category of those blog posts as homepage slider. So again, it's a slider. It's grabbing the articles that we've chosen. It's grabbing the featured image of those, as long as they have the category of homepage slider. So if we go to our post up here on the left, you'll notice that these guys all have homepage slider. These guys all have homepage slider. And if I look at one of those, staff with van, there's nothing in this post except for a featured image, bottom right corner. So if I go to an actual post like the Little Village, there's a bunch of content in here. This is HTML. There's actually no featured image, which is fine. But you'll notice that it does not have the category of homepage slider. It's bgcnc news. So if we go to the news page, any post in here, there it is right there, is going to have the category of bgcnc news. And then if we go back to the Storyland one, there's no content, there's just a featured image. So any blog post that you create, and you can edit these if you don't like them, any blog post that you create, as long as you give it a featured image and give it the category of homepage slider, it will show up in this slider. And then there's probably a bunch of settings. I don't know that there's a bunch of settings, but there's some settings. Go to the featured slider. Oh, the animation speed. So 3000 is 3 seconds, so milliseconds is 1000. So you can slow that down, make it 5000 or 7000, and it'll take 7 seconds to go between the images, or make it go faster, or make it 2000 or whatever you want. So you can adjust that slider there. Okay, bottom right corner, we are hiring. This is really easy to change. These two things, email list and we are hiring, are controlled in widgets. So under appearance and widgets right here, and I've already got it open here. So under appearance and then widgets, you'll see all these widgets. Sometimes these are closed so you won't see anything open. But if you go into the footer, you'll see there's text, and that's that Constant Contact. This is all just code from Constant Contact. We just copied and pasted in here. And then this one is the block, which is a new WordPress thing. And basically all this is the same thing. If we make this bigger here, it's the link to Indeed, and it's a different picture. So somebody built this one. I didn't build this. Somebody built this in a Gutenberg block. We can actually change this to HTML if it's easier to look at. And you can just delete this whole thing and it will go away if you're not hiring right now. And then we can always put it back there. Maybe your Indeed link has changed, and you could change that if you want. You want to be very careful to make sure that you stay in between the quotes if you're going to change that link. And then this target equals blank just means it's going to open up in a new window. So anyway, appearance and widgets, that's where you're going to find everything that's handled, those two items handled down here at the very bottom. And then the mission statement on the home page. This is something that we added manually. So again, this one might be hard. I might actually be able to program this so that you can change it, but I'm going to close this, and then referencing back here to the server, there's a file called header.php. And if we open up that, you'll see that there's this address, physical address, blah, 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 and the phone number is right here. So you'd have to get into this file to change this stuff. However, there is a chameleon quote, which says the funds safe, positive place. So again, if we go back into appearance and chameleon options, and we go to the home page, you'll see that this is right here. We're not using this this quote line 2. You can see that on the left-hand side, there's no reference to quote 2. And that's because they didn't really set it up the way we wanted it to. And so it's just it's not showing up how we wanted to on the home page. They wanted to change the styling, make it gray. And so Um, it's interesting. We had to change that, but I'm wondering if you want, I can put that back and we can just style that however we want, and we can see if that would work. But if you just want to change the main text of that, you can see it does not show up over here on the left, and that's because it's handled here in Chameleon options, Chameleon theme options, general homepage, and you can adjust that right here. Again, this is not going to do anything for you, but like I said, we can adjust that if you want. All right, that's all I got for now. Like I said, give me a shout, and happy to go through these things with you. And yeah, like this particular one on the homepage might be something that I have to help you with, but everything else it looks like you can do right from the main editor. So like I said, give me a call if you got any questions, and we'll connect.